Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining today's masterclass. It's going to be all about social media, and we are going to discuss about the latest trends in the social media universe. It's the third year that I have the pleasure of presenting on that stage. And for those of you that haven't attended one of my previous sessions, my name is Christalena Vraila, and I'm the co-founder and director of Mr. Highline. So Mr. Highline is a digital agency, award-winning, and we have the pleasure of working in Middle East and in Europe with a variety of clients within the hospitality industry. The company is split into divisions. We do social media marketing, anything related to digital marketing, and software services. Oops. As I said, we work with a variety of hospitality businesses, from independent hotels to boutique hotels, big global chains, restaurants, bars, members clubs, spas, and everything in between. So me personally, I live and breathe hospitality. And I think that the most appropriate way to kickstart today's social media masterclass is by doing a crash course in the social media history. So I'll take you back to 2010. In 2010, Instagram was born and very quickly topped 1 million users, which was quite impressive. Next year, 2011, two new platforms emerged, Snapchat and Google+. However, only one will survive the decade. Do I need to ask which one? I guess no one has created a Google+ account lately, right? There you go. 2012, scandalous year. Actually, not yet, because we have a big milestone where Facebook buys Instagram for the amazing amount of $1 billion, and very quickly tops up to 1 billion monthly active users, which was quite impressive. And I'll take you soon to the scandalous year, which is actually 2018. But before that, in 2014, Facebook continues its expansion and buys WhatsApp for the amount of $22 billion. So it really starts becoming a giant, the giant that we know today. In 2017, ByteDance, a Chinese startup, buys Musical.ly and very quickly moves all its users to the platform that we know today as TikTok. 2018, synonymous to Cambridge Analytica. It was actually a year that changed the social media landscape, and especially when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, Google, and Instagram, that meant a lot of changes, and not for the best. 2020, pandemic year. Although it was a disastrous year for the entire humanity, of course, it was actually an excellent year for social media because everyone was on a social media channel. Either that was Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever that was. But everyone was seeking connection. Everyone was seeking communication. So social media had an impressive year overall. And House Party is one of the platforms that emerged. Next year, 2021, we have Clubhouse, which is an audio-only social media platform that became very, very popular in that year. And then moving on to 2022, we all remember Elon Musk trying to acquire Twitter for the incredible amount of $41 billion. However, the sale never materialized. So that brings us to the future. 2023. And what do we foresee that is going to be the highlight of 2023? Well, my guess is that it's going to be all about Instagram versus TikTok, the battle. So this presentation today is going to focus on these two major platforms, Instagram and TikTok. We are going to compare, contrast, deep dive, and really understand what are the benefits of both so that you can also implement it for your own businesses and hotels. In order to set the scene, so very briefly, what is Instagram all about? Instagram is a popular photo and video sharing platform, right? So it's owned by giant Facebook. The company now is called Meta, and it met a tremendous growth in the year 2020 following the pandemic. TikTok, on the other hand, is a video-only platform that thrives of trending hashtags and challenges. It is very, very popular among the youngest generations, especially Gen Z, because it has a more relaxed character as a channel. And it has created a hub for just anyone. So like-minded people connect on TikTok. If we want to do a quick comparison now between these two platforms, we would say that TikTok is a standalone app that gives you a variety of features when it comes to video creation, while Instagram has video features within the app, but all the effects are much more limited compared to what TikTok offers. And a more detailed analysis, now that we've set the scene and we know what TikTok and Instagram is about, TikTok is a standalone app. It's perfect for creating short videos. And also super important is that it relies on AI capabilities to serve better content to the users. That means that you don't rely on the network level. It doesn't mean that it's your followers that are going to see your content. It's just anyone out there. It has powerful built-in video editing tools, and as we said, it's very, very popular among Gen Z. On the other hand side, Instagram obviously adapted very quickly. So now it has Reels as a feature, which is very similar to what TikTok does. But in comparison to TikTok, it does rely on the network level. That means that it's your followers, the followers of the page, that are going to see the content, and not just anyone. Compared to TikTok again, it has much more limited video effects, and these you can apply them when you create your content and not later, which is a freedom that TikTok gives you. And finally, it's very, very popular in many demographics, of course, but most, like the #1 demographic on Instagram is millennials at the moment. Now, content, which is a very important topic, and everyone is wondering, what is the most trending content right now? What kind of content should I be publishing on my hotel's Instagram pages and TikTok? So this applies to all the platforms, really. And these are 5 pillars that I highly encourage you to include in your strategy, no matter what you do. Experiential content is king. And what do we mean by that? Everyone wants to understand the experience behind a service or a product. They don't just want to see a hotel room. They want to understand the experience that they will have once they step in the hotel. How is the local area looking like? What about the destination? What is going to be the vibe of the hotel? So really make them become part of your journey before they step in your property. Short videos. It's very clear from TikTok and Instagram and all the latest trends such as Reels, that short videos are the most powerful pieces of content because people enjoy very much anything that has a little bit of movement and a little bit of sound, and it's not just a still image. It just grabs people's attention. In terms of tone of voice, when it comes to your captions, when it comes to the content, you definitely need to go with something that is authentic and it feels personal. Whatever is generic, or when a brand tries to imitate what the big players are doing, it's a failure. Just because people have seen that so many times, and they are on your page in order to see who you are, what your brand is about. So speak to them personally, on a personal level, directly, and be authentic. Be true to your brand. Be true to who you are. Moving on, 2 very important topics that are linked together. The golden rule is that people connect with people. They don't connect with brands. So it's highly important that you humanize your brand. And how can you do that? First of all, by including people in your content. Either this is your team members, or your guests. So instead of showing an empty lobby, show a lobby full of people. Show your team. Do an interview. Show your guests in their moments during their stay with you. And take your audience behind the scenes. Everyone will know what is happening once they step in your hotel, once they step in. What they will never know is what's happening when they are preparing for dinner, your team in the kitchen, right? Or when they are setting up for an event, whatever that is. There is actually a very growing interest around knowing what's happening behind the scenes. So give them and fulfill that desire. And now we're going to speak a little bit more specifically about trends that are linked to Instagram and then TikTok. And of course, the number one thing on my list when it comes to Instagram is the Instagram Reels. Instagram Reels, for any of you that might not exactly know what it is, actually is a video or shorter clips that are brought together, overlaid with music, text, stickers, interactive features that create something that's very engaging and it's very interactive. It's super easy to create an Instagram Reel. You can do it directly from your Instagram account, and all you have to do is actually create the video or clip multiple videos together. And then once you put your caption, your stickers, your music, whatever you want, and you publish it, the magic is that not only it will show on your feed, but also it gets grouped on a special area of your Instagram page where all the reels go. And you can see that on the icon on the last frame. So this allows you to visit all your reels at once, and it groups them together, so even your audience can find them all in one place. How do I encourage you to use that trend for your hotel? Well, why don't you film different areas of your hotel and then clip this together and show the experience to your audience rather than publishing multiple videos and stories? Not that stories are bad, of course they are great, but this is really the latest trend, so you definitely want to do that. Moving on, we have Instagram memes. This is one of the latest trends again, and it's quite interesting because it allows you to build a more personal bond with your audience. And also, it helps you inject a little bit of humor and personality to your brand, which is always a good thing because we don't want to always take ourselves too seriously. At the end of the day, on Instagram, we need to be a little bit more relaxed as well. So a few things that I want to give you as an advice when you are creating your own memes for your hotel, because you might be wondering, how can I link my brand to a movie? Well, that's the fun part, because all you're going to do is use well-known figures, something that is happening now, something that is trending now. And then once you do that, you'll overlay it with some copy that is going to be short and punchy in order to pass a message, whatever message that is. And then you want to make sure that the entire result is high resolution. Overall, this will allow you to surprise your audience and give them something that they will stop scrolling, read, and think about. So it definitely plays to your advantage. Again, how can you use that for your hotel? Well, let's say there's a fun fact about the property, or in general, something that it's a little bit more relaxed as a topic that you want to discuss. Then do that in the form of a meme. Moving on, we have the Instagram branded assets. We love Instagram branded assets because they help you showcase your brand. It's a perfect way to establish your voice out there because you are basing your asset on your brand identity, meaning your colors, your fonts, your logos. So this helps you creating an enticing feed, but also sells your brand for you. When you are creating a branded asset, you want to use a mixture of images, assets, and copy, always around your brand identity, of course. These are some examples from branded assets that we have created for our clients, but you can see how different they are, again, because we base it on their brand guidelines. You want to keep your copy very short and sweet. You don't want to overdo it. At the end of the day, people will just stay for a few seconds on the post, and they want to get the information right there and then. And you want to ensure that the copy is very readable, whatever you create. At the end of the day, the result that you're going to create is going to be aesthetically pleasing and is going to be true to your brand. So I highly encourage you to include branded assets as part of your strategy. Moving on, we have the pin posts. It's one of the latest trends on Instagram, one feature that was released quite recently. And a pin post is what the word says, a post that gets pinned at the top of your profile and your page. Why would you want to do that? Maybe because you have important information to share with your audience, or because you have a message that you want people to be able to see over and over again after you keep publishing more posts. And in order to do that, the only way is to pin it at the top of your page. The moment that doesn't belong there anymore, you simply unpin it. A very, very good idea to use that new feature is if you're running a competition. So competitions are powerful. They allow you to reach a wider audience. They allow you, depending on the T's and C's that you put, to gain a lot more visibility on your page. And of course, you connect with the community because you give something back to them. If you're running, therefore, a competition, make sure that you pin that post, because that means that even if you keep posting other things, for the duration of the competition, people will still see it at the top of your page. So they will have the opportunity to join. And then we have the Instagram reminder posts. Again, one of the latest features on Instagram. And actually, it's a very smart one, because what it allows you to do is set a start and an end date to something that is happening. You might have an event, you might have a gala, a charity, whatever that is happening for a specific period of time in your property, in your hotel. So when you have something like this and you set it as a reminder, people have the ability to take this post and sync it directly to their calendar. So that serves as a reminder to them, which is great because, number one, you make their life easier, but also you help them stay on top of that happening, on top of that event. And now that the festive season is approaching and Christmas is around the corner, let's say maybe you have something that you're planning at your hotel, like a Christmas dinner or a gala. In that case, definitely share this news in the form of a reminder post and allow people to save it directly on their calendar. These are really the latest things that are happening on Instagram right now. And it's quite important that you incorporate them in your strategy, because also the algorithm will help a lot the visibility of your content. Instagram loves when we use its latest trends, right? And now moving on to TikTok. TikTok is a different beast. And a lot of people are asking me, okay, what is TikTok good for in a nutshell? Tell me, why should I be on TikTok? Number one, it has a very large database. TikTok at the moment is present in over 150 countries globally, which means that you might want a piece of that audience to know about your brand and your hotel, right? Also, a very important element that only TikTok has compared to the other social media networks is that it's marketing that doesn't feel like marketing. And what do we mean by that? The youngest generations, Gen Z, they just get a bit disturbed with very direct ways of selling them something. So smart marketeers know that in order to attract that audience, they need to be a little bit more casual and indirect. And 51% of these users, at the end of the day, they use ad blockers. So that gives you the clue that, TikTok is the best way to attract them. Next is all about the communities. Communities and social media are two things that are very much linked. We are on social media because we want to connect, and the community element is super important. Now, TikTok, it's a creative hub for just anyone, and it attracts like-minded people. That means that people that are on TikTok build a bond and follow people that they enjoy their content. And therefore, the community element is very, very obvious. Although there is no group feature, an official group feature on TikTok yet, marketeers think that this is going to be one of the next things that will come up on TikTok. So I'm giving you a clue. Let's see if we'll be right. And finally, but also very important, because TikTok is the latest social media sensation, everything happens first on TikTok. We talked before about Reels, and Reels are powerful, but this was Instagram's response to the growing power of TikTok. So definitely keep an eye on that platform. And now, deep diving into trends on TikTok. I'll give you some of the top trends that you can incorporate. And of course, the first one is the branded hashtag challenges. This is actually how TikTok works in general. So a brand or a business comes up with a signature hashtag, and then the audience is encouraged to create content around that hashtag, and of course, use the hashtag. This is how things become viral. And I have a great example to share with you, which is from a hospitality chain. Of course, you know Marriott, Marriott Bonvoy. So what they did last year is run a campaign, a branded hashtag challenge, which was called 30 Stays, 300 Days. What they did is with that hashtag, they encouraged TikTokers to create a video, content, where they would explain why they would be the best ambassadors for Marriott. And the winner got stays in 30 different properties of Marriott globally within 300 days. During their stay, obviously, they enjoyed their holidays, but also they were creating content for the brand. So it served Marriott really, really well, and they became quite strong on TikTok since then. How can you take that and adapt it, let's say, adjust it to your hotel, to your property? Well, very simple. Why don't you come up with a signature hashtag true to your brand and your hotel, and then simply ask your guests to share their experience with you after their stay by using that hashtag. Very straightforward. Moving on, the next trend is the lip sync videos. Again, something very, very popular on TikTok. Everyone does it. Basically, it's a way to pass a message using a very famous song. All you do is you link and you sync your video to, let's say, a famous song or any kind of audio. And this can help you go viral very, very quickly, because if that song is trending right now, then other content creators are going to publish something similar. So this is how the whole community thing becomes a big thing here. How can you use that for your hotel? Very simple. Why don't you ask your team to film a video and then sync that video to a very famous song? This will give you the opportunity actually to get a lot of engagement, and potentially you can see your video trending. And now I'm going to give you a very, very important advice when it comes to TikTok. There is nothing that lasts forever, especially on TikTok. Whatever we're discussing today, in a month, might have changed. So especially when it comes to that platform, it's highly important that we stay on top of the latest trends. Something that it's one of my personal favorite challenges and trends on TikTok of the past few months is something that was called "You Are Enough," which went viral. So basically, based on that challenge, what people were doing was appreciating themselves or their loved ones or their pets by filming videos and content and simply outlining their perceived flaws and insecurities and saying at the end that regardless, you are enough, you are loved. So it was a very sweet, nice way to build, a bond with the audience and connect with other people. And for example, if you knew about this trend back then, you could have adapted it to your hotel. How? Well, if you are a pet-friendly property, for example, You could encourage your guests, based on that challenge, to film a video with their pet during their stay with you. Again, TikTok is all about having fun, right? It's nothing scripted, it's nothing serious. But it gives you the opportunity to really reach a very, very wide audience if you capitalize on the latest trends. And the last trend on TikTok that I want to share with you is a Q&A. Q&As are great in order to build communities and in order to connect with like-minded people. Also, besides that, a very big advantage of a Q&A is the fact that it allows you to ask directly questions to your audience. Maybe you're seeking some answers from people that stay with you. So instead of just looking for these answers internally, why don't you ask them directly? TikTok gives you that option through the Q&A. All you have to do is obviously go on your TikTok. At the bottom in the center, there is a plus button. You click on that button, and then you can either input your own question, or you can choose one of the pre-selected questions. TikTok is going to recommend the trendiest and latest questions that people enjoy engaging with. So once this happens, all you have to do is set it up, and then you turn on the Q&A button, and people start responding. It's actually really interesting to see how much traction you can get out of it and how much you can connect. At the end of the day, we're all on social media, brands and individuals, in order to connect. And it's not valuable to try to do anything else than just that. Connect with people and get your message across via that way. Now, staying again on the TikTok topic, because it's a new platform, there are a lot of questions around it. So what we are going to try to do, since we've set the scene and we know what are the latest trends, is answer some of the frequently asked questions. A lot of hoteliers come to me with the same question, which is very simple. Shall I use TikTok for my hotel? They ask me that. I always respond the same way, and I respond asking 3 questions back. First of all, do you have the budget? Do you have the resources? And thirdly, have you built a consistent presence on Facebook and Instagram? Why am I asking these questions? First of all, do you have an agency on board, or a marketing team, or a marketing person that is taking care of your social media channels? If yes, before you determine next steps, you need to sit down with them and discuss. And you need to see if you are ready to take that step, if you can support it financially, because TikTok requires planning, execution, creativity, a lot of things that obviously require time. And therefore, make sure that your team has the capacity and also you have the budget to support it. If the answer to this too is yes, perfect. However, think also about what you have achieved so far. And Instagram and Facebook, no matter what, they are still a superpower. They have the largest database, and they've been out there for a long time. So as a brand, it's not anymore a choice to be on Facebook and Instagram. It's a necessity. If you have already invested on that and you have built a good strategy and you have achieved to have a loyal follower base, then great. You are ready to take the next step. But there is one last thing that I want you to consider before you kickstart your TikTok activity. If you are not targeting people between the age of 16 to 24 years old, then maybe TikTok is not the best platform for you. Why? Because 60% of TikTok's monthly active users are Gen Z, between the age of 16 and 24 years old. I don't want to discourage you. All these answers are very different from case to case. So now I'm going to assume that the answer is yes. Christalena, yes, we've done all of this. We are ready. We are committed. We want to get started. Amazing. Obviously, the next natural question is, what is the best way to market my hotel on TikTok, right? And 3 pillars, 3 things that I'm going to suggest today, and I hope you take back and work on. Number 1, highlight your hotel's facilities, amenities, and the overall destination. So you want people, as we said at the beginning, to get the experience, right? So that doesn't come from dry images. It comes from a variety of content that is from your hotel, from the location, how does the neighborhood look like, what is destination about, what kind of people enjoy staying with you, so that people feel a bit more connected with you and make the decision to visit you and stay with you. Also, show what is happening behind the scenes. This is golden. If you haven't tried it out, you definitely need to. You just sneak in the kitchen or whatever department you want, and you film what's happening while they are preparing for dinner or when they are preparing for an event, whatever that is. Serve that content to your audience, and they are going to love it. And finally, make sure you capitalize on user-generated content. This is actually super important because user-generated is free content. I still don't understand why people don't take advantage of that. You need to encourage your guests to talk about you when they visit you. And you need to make sure that when they do, you share that back so that you build that bond with them. User-generated content is powerful, and it builds credibility because other people talk about your brand, not just you about yourself. And as we are wrapping up this session, I'm going back to the initial prediction that I made about the future in 2023 and Instagram versus TikTok. So based on what we've discussed so far, let's summarize a few things. Instagram, yes, it has the largest audience and database nowadays. And also, it has been around for quite some time, since 2010. Finally, it has proven that it keeps adapting to the latest trends. TikTok appeared, no problem. Reels was the answer from Instagram. Easy. However, on the other hand side, let's admit that TikTok is the latest sensation. It's the hottest social media channel right now out there. However, there is a tricky element to TikTok, which is all about data handling. And there are concerns around that. And because of Cambridge Analytica and the big scandal, they keep a close eye on it, because if TikTok doesn't abide to the Western rules and regulations and laws, it means that we can easily see TikTok being erased from any Western countries. So based on the above, my personal prediction is that Instagram is going to hold the reins for the foreseeable future, and Instagram is a superpower that cannot lose from TikTok. Now, with that bold statement, we are finishing our session. You can ask me any questions. Before that, I just want to let you know that we are running a competition in collaboration with Independent Hotel Show, and one lucky winner can get a month social media and website strategy for free. All you have to do is scan the QR code if you haven't done it already, and put your contact details. We will announce the winner in a few days. Good luck, everyone. Thank you. If you have any questions, more than happy to answer. Yes.
It's about the the restrictions for TikTok.
Yes.
I think it's more political than.
Yes. Absolutely.
I've been using TikTok for the last 2 years, and it's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Even for my hotel.
No.
For my hotel, I'm getting a lot of responses from guests.
Yes.
Using TikTok more than Instagram.
There you go. Because it builds that, let's say, channel of communication between the audience and the brand. Yeah.
And I think because of AI, so I'm getting more similar users.
Yeah.
and it's been fantastic.
It's great, right?
Yeah. So do you think in future TikTok won't be as viable as Instagram?
Listen, we have examples, for example, like Snapchat, that was also a big
That's right.
sensation, right?
Yeah.
And we see that it's declining now. And it's declining because, you know, the superpower, which is Instagram and Facebook, always win the race, but also there are tricky parts about these startups.
That's right.
That they have the ability to gain people's attention, but not necessarily their trust.
Yeah.
So with these allegations, because to be honest, there are articles that come up all the time, right? Nothing too scary at the moment.
Yes.
But because it's a Chinese company behind it, and the Western world is quite different, you know, there might be this kind of difference between what the Western world believes is right and what the Eastern world thinks.
But don't you think that everything is moving eastwards?
I
If
will
you look
be
at the economy, the Western economy is declining.
Yes, absolutely.
And
That's a good
rapidly
point.
now, rapidly.
That's a good point.
So I think the East is the future. So you never know what's going to happen.
At the end of the day, maybe TikTok will be a superpower in the East, right?
I think so.
And not in the West. That could be.
But I think because it will be a superpower in the East, and East is overtaking West, and eventually we will be under the East.
That's an
we
interesting,
will be under
interesting
Chinese.
point. Yes, yes.
I mean,
Let's see.
half the population is India and China,
True, true.
and probably Iran
Yeah,
and other countries, Indonesia.
yeah.
So it's interesting times.
Interesting times. Maybe
Yeah.
next year we'll be saying something different on that stage,
True.
right?
Yeah,
Let's
but
see.
I enjoyed your show. It was really good.
Thank you very
much.
I appreciate
Thank you.
it. Thank you. Of course.
Just a quick one. How do you convert? You know, you talk about conversion.
Yes.
How do you convert from TikTok or Instagram direct to your page, hotel page, for example?
There are campaigns, of course, that you can run besides the organic part. You can use the paid services that this platform gives you. And there are campaigns that are called consideration and conversion campaigns. It's highly important that you build properly the entire journey. So you start with awareness, right? You're targeting people to know about your brand. Then you run consideration campaigns because you want these people to consider your brand. They know about you, perfect. Now they start thinking about using your product and service. And finally, you go to the conversion stage, where you take them directly to a landing page, a website. From that point on, they book, they buy, whatever that is. And this is how it is. But a lot of people do the mistake of starting directly with conversion. Oh, I want to convert. It's not like this, because you need to narrow down the potential candidates, right? So both Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok give you that option.
You have to be patient, right?
You have to be patient. And you need to spend money, especially if we talk about conversion. Awareness is less expensive. As you move up, obviously it gets more expensive, but you can see what's your click-through rate, you can see what's your ROI at the end of the day. If you spend £1,000, but you make £1,500, then obviously it's a big win, right?
Yeah.
So it always depends on what are your targets.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi there.
Hi.
Just a question on competitions,
Yes.
right? So I've heard that they're cracking down on, forced engagement, basically getting people to like, comment, share, because effectively what it does is create this false, popularity, virality to the algorithm. How do you get to make these competitions a bit more kind of, are you finding that your competitions are being kind of not favored by the algorithm? How are you getting around that? Is there a way? What do you think?
Sure. So that's a very good question, because competition posts are still winners, definitely. But obviously, you need to set it up right. because it's not every competition post that will perform well. What we found plays a lot to a brand's advantage is when you use, first of all, a branded asset, so something that shouts competition, right? By using your colors, fonts, etc. So the asset of your post, of your competition post, needs to include the keyword competition and also needs to abide to your brand guidelines. And then when it comes to the caption, T's and C's are super important. So obviously, what you want to get from a competition post is reach and new followers. These are the two KPIs, let's say. And how can you do that? By saying to people that in order to have a valid entry, number one, they need to follow your page. They need to tag a friend, and that friend needs also to follow the page, so 2 new followers automatically. And then finally, you want to give them a specific timeline. Like you want to tell them that the competition, be very clear, it's going to start at that time, finish at that time, the winner is going to be announced via story or this way, DM, whatever it is. But make it look very legit and not vague. So by asking people to take these actions, you tick the boxes because your reach grows. People will see the post because it's a branded asset. People will participate because they get something for free. Make sure that the price is enticing. If you have a hotel, give them one night stay. I mean, I know for a lot of hoteliers that might be a no-no, but trust me, in terms of what it brings you back, it's worth it. So T's and C's, branded assets, and very, very clear guidelines in terms of what this competition is about, what you're getting, and what do you need to do to have a valid entry. That's it. I guess that's it. Thank you very much.